Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. We just learned some more details about Marvel's plans for the Iron Man franchise. Behind the scenes, obviously see Robert Downey Jr., Joe Rogan talking about Iron Man eventually coming back. Most of what they talked about have actually come to pass, like they Babe Ruth style called that shot.
Is the door to Iron Man totally closed? Because I don't believe it is.
Oh.
You guys can go through time now. You can go, you already opened up that door.
Well, let me ask you the question. If I pick the jersey back up and put it on, wouldn't you feel a little bit like, oh,
no.
crap?
No.
Oh.
Here's what I think.
All right.
They go through a few semi-lackluster Avengers movies without you. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Here's the scene. There's a moment where the world's fate is at stake, and they realize they need a super genius. And then they figure out how to restart that time machine.
Great.
Come on, man.
Is that
the audience sees you when you step out of that thing?
Is this your? And you want a little arc on it too? Because if this is your idea, then you got to show up for it too.
I'll do it. I'll show up. What do I have to do?
I don't know.
I'll do whatever I have to do.
We all have to do whatever Kevin Feige
I'll hold
says.
the thing. I'll hold the clap thing. Do they still have that? Clap.
They do. They do. It's digital.
I'll hold that digital thing. I'll do it. But the way people would freak out if you came back. Come on.
We learn more about what would have been the Iron Man 4 movie and the truth about Tom Cruise's version of Iron Man. So there was a whole bunch of stuff. We'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We're also in the middle of that Spider-Man 2 game giveaway. I'll name a new winner during this video. And there is like a weird spam bot going around in the comments pretending to message people on Telegram about some giveaway stuff. That's not me, that's a spammer, but I think most of you have figured out that it's actually a fake person. It's one of those big problems that everybody with big channels has, but YouTube refuses to fix. Hopefully they'll do something about it soon. But a bunch of this new Iron Man information on what's going on with the character behind the scenes comes from a book about the truth of Marvel Studios, like all the dirt you could ever want on Marvel Studios. It's called The Reign of Marvel Studios. It was written by a couple acquaintances of mine. This video isn't like an ad for the book or anything. I wasn't paid any money to talk about it, but it is a really cool book. All these new details on the Iron Man character, what's going on with him just in general, are just a small piece of what's in the book. Like, it's way, way bigger than that. A lot of you have been wondering why Iron Man 4 never got turned into a movie, why they killed off the 616 version of Iron Man in Avengers Endgame. Thor got Love and Thunder, his fourth movie. They just announced they're doing Thor 5 with another director, like Taika Waititi isn't coming back. I just did another video about that a while ago, so I'll link it below in the description. They're doing Captain America 4 next year, even though all these movies seem like they're getting delayed a little bit. Why not do a fourth movie for their most popular character? Seems like that would have been a slam dunk during Marvel Phase 4. It would have come right after Avengers Endgame, just like Thor Love and Thunder. And some of you probably will not be surprised by this, like this will probably confirm some theories that you've had behind the scenes, but turns out Robert Downey Jr. did not want to get his character killed off in Avengers Endgame, like he didn't want Iron Man to die. And when the studio told him what the story of Infinity War and Endgame were going to be, he basically gave them a polite no thank you. Like, how about we not get rid of the Iron Man character?
I also think that Marvel is on this journey now of they're trying a bunch of other stuff, and I'm excited for them to see how all that goes, and it's hard to project.
If you haven't heard about what Robert Downey Jr.'s experience was like behind the scenes of all of his Marvel movies, like his own Iron Man movies, the Avengers movies, essentially because of the way his contract worked out, he lived like a king, and everybody loved working with him. He loved working with everyone else. Like, it was actually genuinely a really good experience for all of them. So he was totally fine keeping the good times rolling. I'm sure the money didn't hurt either. They would have gone on to make Iron Man 4. He would have continued to operate in the MCU the same way he'd been doing during Marvel Phase 3, like appearing in a couple cameos occasionally, then again in Avengers Kang Dynasty, in Secret Wars, so on and so forth. And originally, the alternate ending for Avengers Endgame was to have Captain America wield the Infinity Gauntlet. He'd snap it, then die as a result. So originally they were planning on having Captain America wield Thor's hammer, then wield the Infinity Gauntlet. It's a real big moment in the comics too. But in that version of events, there was no time travel mission that he had at the end of the movie where he stayed with Peggy Carter in the past, no moment at the very end when he returns as an old man in the main timeline and gives the shield to Falcon, and the funeral would have been for him, obviously, not for Iron Man. So it would have been a completely different vibe, completely different ending for Avengers Endgame. And apparently in the writer's room, Kevin Feige, the Russos, the writers eventually decided that they wanted to give Captain America that Peggy Carter reunion ending, and at least in the room, it made more sense to them that they'd have to have Iron Man be the one to snap the Infinity Gauntlet. And because most fans would go into the scene of Iron Man snapping the Infinity Gauntlet expecting him to have some creative workaround enabling him to survive the snap in order to surprise people, like big WTF surprise in the theater as much as possible, they legit kill him off. There were so many fan theories after Avengers Endgame came out about how Iron Man could have survived the snap, and he probably could have. Like, you could actually write a way for him to survive that and for it to make sense. But the other big idea behind the scenes at Marvel is Kevin Feige wanted the movie to feel like a definitive ending for the original 6 Avengers, and what could be more final than killing off some of your characters? Fast forward to Marvel Phase 4, everything that Robert Downey Jr., Joe Rogan were talking about a couple years ago actually came to pass. Legit, they totally called it. Like, Marvel Phase 4 was extremely divisive. There have been a couple bangers, but Marvel is now heading towards a soft reboot of the MCU with Secret Wars to clean up their continuity, fold in a bunch of X-Men, Fantastic Four characters, just help everything to make sense, just like clean up things in the background that they want to clean up. As part of that, they started to bring back all these original actors, and as part of the reboot announcement around Secret Wars, there was also a quote from Kevin Feige that I talked about in an earlier video about this, basically saying that they would be using that twist to bring back dead characters in different ways, which is how they bring back Robert Downey Jr. as another version of Iron Man. Like, they don't have to bring back the one that died in Endgame, they just want to have Robert Downey Jr. come back as a version of Iron Man. There are a number of ways to explain that. Primarily either time travel or an alternate universe. Now they're doing the Iron Man Armor Wars series as a movie that's supposed to happen during Marvel Phase 6. That hasn't changed. It'll mostly be about Rhodey in an adaptation of the Armor Wars comic book series. Ultron is supposed to come back. Damage Control, Val is supposed to be the main antagonist. Like, Damage Control is supposedly going to accidentally bring Ultron back when they try to mess with Iron Man's Stark tech, and Rhodey has to deal with that. But here's the thing, here's like a new wrinkle with bringing Robert Downey Jr. back. Normally it'd be no big deal to ring him up and pay him a small trash bag of money to come back for a few cameo scenes, like, here, please take our money, come back for a couple minutes. He's probably going to be nominated for an Oscar for his performance in the Oppenheimer movie, and he said that when he made that movie, it reminded him what real acting was like. Oh, I remembered that I'm an actor, I can actually act now. Just because of the way they make Marvel movies very differently from other normal movies. Like, it doesn't feel like traditional acting to a lot of actors. So he gets nominated for Oppenheimer. Everybody remembers how awesome an actor he actually is in normal movies, and it just reinvigorates his interest in doing non-Marvel movies. So I definitely think that they will eventually recast the main version of Iron Man with a younger actor at some point, but because Kevin Feige said that they would continue to explore the multiverse in future Marvel movies like Marvel Phase 7 and beyond, they'll just say that Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man exists in an alternate universe and just bring him back if they ever want to. And when it comes to bringing him back for a cameo and say like Secret Wars, I think that they'll just give him 2 trash bags of money. Like, that Oscar will just require an extra trash bag of money. As for Tom Cruise's version of Iron Man, there was a lot of talk about this when Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness came out, like him coming to cameo as a version of Superior Iron Man, and how it was a big meta Easter egg for the original version of the character he almost wound up playing back in the early 2000s. This new book on Marvel Studios actually explains what really happened with Tom Cruise's version of Iron Man. Back during the early 2000s, Marvel and Fox were developing an Iron Man movie like way before the original Fantastic Four movies premiered. This is like original X-Men era when the first couple X-Men movies are coming out. Tom Cruise was the first actor that they were developing the movie with. Johnny Depp was also on their shortlist because this was before he made the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. So Johnny Depp was also almost Iron Man. And the main reason why that version of the Iron Man movie fell apart in the early 2000s was because Tom Cruise asked for way too much money in what Fox and Marvel considered an untested character. Like, they weren't confident that the Iron Man character was popular enough, like the X-Men had been popular, to earn enough money to justify what he was asking for. The book doesn't really get into the weeds on like exactly what it was he asked for. I'm assuming it was about $20 million plus like a giant percentage of the actual box office. And even though I think that Marvel made the right call in just waiting and eventually doing the Robert Downey Jr. version of Iron Man, like, it couldn't have gone better for them, like he was the perfect actor for the role. Eventually, they wound up paying Robert Downey Jr. money like that, like basically his contract inflated to like $70 million per movie by the final 2 Avengers movies. That is basically Tom Cruise level money, like he earns about that amount of money on all of his Mission Impossible movies. There was even a funny video where Jon Favreau and Kevin Feige were talking about the history of the Iron Man character and how felicitous it was that they cast Robert Downey Jr. Like, it couldn't have gone better. Like, we made the best possible choice that anybody could have made in casting him.
Should we talk about that? Because I think that's probably one of the greatest decisions in the history of Hollywood.
Robert had come in for a general on it, And I remember you had all met with him already for like Doctor Doom or something on another project. I think I think he had come through on a maybe Fantastic Four.
But around the time they were developing this Tom Cruise version of the Iron Man movie, they were also developing the original Fantastic Four movies, and Robert Downey Jr. almost wound up playing Doctor Doom in those movies. Can you even imagine what all the Marvel movies landscape would look like now if things had gone down that way? Like, I do think that everything worked out the way it should have worked out. Like, Robert Downey Jr. wound up being Iron Man, and things could not have been better. Let me know in the comments if you want to see Iron Man cameo before Secret Wars, and when Marvel eventually recast the Iron Man character, who do you want to play him? Right now, I will say that I'm totally fine in it being a completely unknown actor. Like, just wait a couple years after Secret Wars, like, don't try to recast him right away, just like give it a little bit of time, then eventually fold him in. There's a bunch of big stuff coming up. My full Loki Season 2 Episode 4 video will post next. Be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. And congratulations, Noir Cesar. You're the giveaway winner for my last big Spider-Man video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your contact details. Click here for that new Loki Episode 4 video. I'll update the link as soon as I post that. And click here to learn about what's going on with the big Marvel reboot. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.